Billy Beige here. Today I'm looking at Skalli Bonesplitter of the All Stars 6 Necronominous Wave 2 wave. He is the leader of the Skeleton Raiders, and he is callously ruthless, and he's the first undead skeleton dwarf that we have got in the line so far, which is really cool. Dwarfs don't have where they have a ton of presence as much as the dwarf fans would appreciate. But we're gonna take them out of the package because I mean, like I'm starting to feel like I sound like a broken record. I may even said that the last time I reviewed something yesterday before I passed out. Yeah. There's a ton of stuff in this freaking figure, guys. You got your dwarven shield. You got two sides of the skull pauldrons here, because we had got like one side of this with the what was that, the Legion Builder Gladiator, but now you got both sides of it. So I'm just going to say, just looking at these, I love how these are painted. I'm going to need more of these pieces. We got alternate antlers. We got the old shield holder. We got the new shield handle. We have the short double-bladed axe, short battle axe, great axe. I think it's great axe. All of the back adapters, and then we have those alternate foot pegs to put into the feet to have where you can like swap them in to I believe these are the larger ones. Let's see here. Oh, those are smaller ones. So these would be the ones to go into a normal bone foot. So I appreciate them adding that kind of stuff in there. It's extra pieces that you can use for pop and swats, customizes, trade fodder, whatever. And now Skalli Bonesplitter out of here. Everything. Oh, wait. And there's a little belt in there. The little small, what was that? Yeah, crossbody belt there. So that's cool. You can put them with your Sir Andrew large crossbody belt and have a whole crossbody belt set right there. By plastic. And already in the package, he looks really, really cool. Alternate head. He has a little war hammer right there with the spike at the end. Watch out for that one. Large, I'd say a chopper of a blade. And then alternate hands. These are the hinged horizontal, and these are hinged vertical, per se. Yeah. Hinged vertical hands in there. So you get two sets of hands. If you already have a Myxilius or the skeleton hands and feet pack and stuff, you're gonna have enough to like mess around, have him doing all sorts of hand gestures and things like that. So no, it's all compatible and it's all the same paint scheme, which I appreciate. Now let me get him out of the package and we'll take a look at him all put together. Just a random thing I noticed, like, you know, messing around with him, getting ready to get him all put together, is the Dwarf Neck Peg. So the Dwarf Neck Peg, it's kind of like, it was one of the like rarer neck pegs for a minute there. The rarest being the one for, I think it was Thwap, the goblin that has where it's like weird and elongated. But this one had where it was on like this, to have where his head is more upright, and it works. But you can have where you, let me free it from its confines. Oh, it's in there. Release. Okay. So yeah, that doesn't go into that hole. That's where our usual neck pieces and neck adornments go on there, a little neck armor and stuff. But it usually goes forward like this. So just in case you didn't know that, that's usually how a dwarf neck goes. If you're not, well versed in dwarfs, it kind of, sets it forward more, makes them shorter, because you want your dwarfs to be smaller than your other characters. But it does kind of work, twisted back here, and like that. Do with it what you will. You see it from the front, you won't. But like, again, properly to the front. And here's Skalli Bonesplitter with his pauldrons, his side crossbody belt on there, warhammer. I even got like the large kind of like chopper sword in through his belt. It took a second. It's a little tight, so be careful there. And then the shield just kind of tossed on there because I didn't want to put him with another axe in there. But I like the way he looks. I also did move the neck peg back into the back position because his horns do, well, his helmet horns do kind of hit those large shoulder pads. So that's a thing. I should have thrown up like how it looks going forward right now. It kind of, either way it's going to hit, but it's a little bit more narrow if his head's jutting forward. I'll have to see if like doing an alternate, like the night neck peg on there would have like kind of like been a good compromise to that. Because you know what? Give me a second. So here he is with like one of the extra hinged neck pegs from Sir Enoch, and it's a couple millimeters of difference, like going like straight up and down right now, because that's basically what was happening with this turned around, was like it almost being straight up and down for like it being like tilted forward a little bit, but then pulling his head back some. But I mean, you know, it doesn't have bone, you know, it's a neck, but you can still take this and hinge it forward. You know, oh, you can look all the way up now, haha. But you can hinge that forward and kind of have that dwarf look to him still. I can't remember if this is, I don't know if this is the short or the long neck peg there. I think this might be the short one it came with Sir Enoch. But I mean, like, you can still like just hunker him down. He may be looking down a little bit more, right? Oh no, that's the torso. There you go. Yeah. I think this is fine. I mean, like, I love the dwarf neck peg there, but it might be time just to have where you just go ahead and either go to the hinge peg and have where it's like that shorter one, or just have where you just make an offset hinge neck peg for this right there. Just my 2 cents. But also he does have his alternate head. Let me see if I can focus that. Focus on this alternate head. Focus on the head. There we go. And it has a lot of neat paint work on there. It may have where it's in the darker tone, but it still has where it's a lot of detail on there. And with this alternate head, you pop it on, and it may be a little bit less bony, but you know, if you had where you bought multiple Skalli Bonesplitters, you know, it gives you a different look if you want another, you know, undead skeleton dwarf there. It's up to you. Again, it's your figure. Do what you want. But you could also probably take this and, you know, toss this on a legendary barbarian, and then he's gonna have where he's pretty gosh darn dope. Well, you know, I got a legendary barbarian right here. Surprise! Pull off. Pull. Yeah. Oh my god! Come out of the hole! Come on! Don't do this to me now! I have knocked off both horns on the head, trying to pop it off this neck peg. The dwarf neck peg is starting to look so much easier now. Release. That was the sound of success if the camera picked that up. Wow. But yeah, you know, boom. It is not boom. It is a firm ball joint fit there. But yeah, no. Now you got a different look for your legendary barbarian if you picked him up, who will be available on Store Horseman later in the year. So yeah. Use them extra parts. So articulation on... So articulation on Skalli Bonesplitter. I put the dwarf neck peg back on here. So this is the reverse version of the neck peg. He can look up so far. He can look down so far. If I take this neck peg and twist it around to like I guess intended dwarf position, it can look. That's as far as it goes, and a little bit more. So yeah, if you want a little bit more, just twist it around. I'm gonna twist it back around real quick and stab my finger with these horns. Yeah, with his pauldrons, he can only go so far up with the horn adornment. So I'm gonna go ahead and pop these off. Twist, and pull. So without those, he can go higher than a T-pose because of the skeleton shoulders, which I love, all the way around. Hinge at the elbow. These have where like they're the half skeleton arms, so he can like use the dwarf forearms here, spin at the dwarf forearms there, you know, twist at the wrist, hinges whichever way the hand is right there, which is fantastic. You got that little kind of it could be heated and straightened out, but the thumb's kind of straight out, and I kind of love it. You know, I don't want to fix it. Honestly, I love the the random the randomness with that. Ball joint at the waist, so you know, so far back, pops right off. So far forward, it has that kind of like belt going on here that has where it's got the. Let me actually pop you apart. So it has this piece right there. It has that molded pelvis in there, which is cool. Has that different kind of front piece there. Pop you back together. Just wanted to look at that real quick because I think it's interesting. Can go so far forward with those tuberculi upper legs, dwarf upper legs, so far back. Hinge all the way out because there's nothing blocking it. He should be able to go more than a 90. Yeah, way more than 90 on there. Smidge more than 90. Let's see, that's another 15 degrees. Yeah, cool. Twist at the ankle, hinges at the ankle, and then of course, crazy solid. I broke my foot ankle rocker. You know, he's got movement. He's got good dwarf skeleton Viking movement there. So yeah, I'm pleased. Here's Skalli Bonesplitter with Sir Enoch, Baradak, his boss, Thorasis, a grandfather clock, and an Inhumanoid's Redlin. Boo! Do I think you need Skalli Bonesplitter in your congregation? Yes, I do. I think you definitely need Skalli Bonesplitter because he's different. He's small. He's a dwarf. He's a skeleton. He's a Viking. He's check in the box. He's got all of it going on for him. I think he comes with enough stuff to justify the cost. He doesn't have the most things, but he doesn't have the least amount of things. He's got enough stuff there to mess around and swap around him and make him your own skeleton Viking dwarf. But let me know what you think down in the comments below. Oh, if you want to put his shield on his back, I just had where I took and put the shield handle between that crossbody belt right there, between his pauldrons, and then I just slowly put the shield peg into those because I'm still very careful with those because I remember when these things used to break off easy. They certainly don't break off easy anymore, but I remember when they did, so I just get it in there just enough so it's holding on there. So yeah, I think it looks cool. It's a thing you can do. But tell me what you think down in the comments below. Do you have a Skalli Bonesplitter? Are you looking forward to Skalli Bonesplitter? Do you like dwarfs? Do you like skeletons? Do you like Vikings? Do you like skeleton dwarf Vikings? He's your guy. But please subscribe if you hadn't, and I will see you in the next video. Later, guys.